going on, y'all? I'm gonna put the website over here real quick, so you guys know. This is just a chat. Um, so I got this new OBS thing going on, and it's it's not a mess, but it takes a lot more energy than the stream, y'all. I'm telling you right now. Um, this is a chat that I wanted to do from a couple of days ago, and I could have just switched over to the other one, but I didn't want to. I wanted to kind of stick with the Twitch. With the Twitch, the. I wanted to stick with the OBS. I kind of like it better. I mean, I can kind of toggle through. I'll probably change that front thumbnail. That's actually on there. But again, this is pretty much how do we code? How do we start coding? After this, I'm gonna do your regular coding class that y'all supposed to have got yesterday, and then I'll have to bump up and do one on Sunday. So this, is pretty much a segment on, just particular coding. Some of you guys may want to do coding. Some of you guys may not want to, you know, do billing, but it's just to kind of put you in the right place as to, how do you even begin to do the coding, or how do you even begin to do the billing. Now, the medical billing class, remember, we've got 3 playlists. The playlist is the medical billing playlist. You guys have a playlist for coding. You guys also have a playlist for medical terminology. And all the classes are in order. So, of course, I don't want you to be looking all over the place looking for stuff. Um, if you want to do medical billing, I would go through the medical billing classes. It's just like your average online class. If you miss a class online, you pretty much are going to archive the class and replay until you get what the teacher's saying. When you have an issue, you want to contact the teacher. You can contact me, discussion board, if you want to, even a message in here. But make sure you guys go on my website and go ahead and sign up for the official classes. Um, Deborah, if you're having a problem getting in the classroom, let me know. We can go ahead and go over that. I'm going to be in the classroom after this a little later on this evening. But as far as your independency learning in this class, this is a free class that we do here. Everybody pretty much gets in on these same classes. When you do the classes, I want you to make sure that you combine the classes with the step-by-step book and your ICD-10 book. Okay, to learn how to do coding, you must have the coding books. You must have the coding books to learn how to do coding. Um, the ICD-10 is in the description below. I've also done like videos on different type of books that you need, especially when it's all these layoffs are going on. You know, we have to just kind of get abreast on what we're doing and what we need to do, especially those of you who want to become coders. Um, as you learn how to code, you get better. As you learn how to code, you get better. um, don't get discouraged. 'Cause sometimes some people approach me and they go, "Oh no, coding is too hard. Oh no, coding. Oh no, we know billing." It's the same type of energy. You have to put the same type of energy in it. Once you have the books that you need, I think you're okay. For beginners who are starting to code, excuse me. I'm not sure where that came from. For beginners who are starting to code, what I would do is start with the medical terminology first. And the reason I would start you with the medical terminology first is because it's much longer than medical insurance billing. Yes, you need to have medical insurance billing with the coding, but not as invasive as you need to make sure you're abreast on the medical terminology. So I do have a playlist there for medical terminology. And trust me, this class is going to save you a student loan. I totally don't think it's necessary for medical billing and coding. No, I don't think so. Especially with all of the federal layoffs that's going on. I think it is an amazing time to learn something new. You guys can go to my website and make sure you look at everything that's in there. I have tests in there. I have uh, competencies in there, HIM test, that's health information test in there. Uh, my goal is to give to you what you don't need to get a student loan for. I just ask that you just follow the guidelines. I mean, I do my classes the same way that I do as if I was in a classroom. So when you start to code, you already have that medical terminology up here. You already have that medical terminology up here. In the coding, it's going to come second nature to you. I'm not sure why this is like this. It's going to come second nature to you. You just have to keep doing it. I have so many practices. I have so many practices for you. Um, Remember the hymn, the chat that we did 2 times before this. I gave you examples. Those are my tests that I give my employees up. I have a new coder coming in. Yeah, she's getting that test. And I don't bog on my girls if they. I'm sorry, guys too. We have coder guys too. If they don't have their CPC, just pass the test and we can get you there. Because 9 times out of 10, your employer is going to pay for you to take that test. Just get it savvy. If you can pass my HIM test, you'll be fine. Um, my HIM tests they're not hard. Some people say, certain tests that you give, it takes more effort. No. The tests that I have for you are very easy. Once you get your coding down, you don't have a problem with that. And we start with office coding first. We start with office coding 99212, 99211, new patient, 99212, established patient, subsequent patient, ambulatory care. Because what if you decide that you want to work in ambulatory or outpatient hospital, and we hear a lot of things about the hospitals closing and this and that. A lot of it is just fabricated. You have to have a facility. You don't hear many layoffs of the coders. You don't hear many layoffs of the billing department because the hospitals have to run with the coders. If you want to again start from the beginning, start fresh. And if you want to do medical billing too, you can do medical billing too. So the playlist that I have in there that says medical insurance billing, it says medical billing and coding virtual something. That's the medical billing. Don't forget you need those books for that. Do that Kindle. You remember that Kindle thing I showed you guys, the free thing? You can get the books free from there and it'll give you like the majority of the beginning free. And then you can do the medical terminology. I would prefer the medical terminology first if you are only going to do coding. But you still, like I said, you still need to be a little bit abreast on that medical billing. Okay, and this is one of the reasons why I wanted to do this class. I've done classes like this before, just chat. We're just chatting. We're just chatting. And you guys know I had to delay because I'm kind of like experimenting, trying to make sure that I can get all the chats across the board. This one should be across the board, but some of them I'm having trouble getting across the board. So next time we'll have everybody across the board. The medical terminology is going to tell you about all systems of the body. The medical terminology book is in the Sapphire Academy. The link that I just put up there on the side, that's for the Sapphire Academy, okay? And in the Sapphire Academy, I don't know why this is up there. In the Sapphire Academy, we want to make sure that you are doing everything possible to get yourself in a good place, especially in the testing, okay? Because once you actually start taking your CPC, you not saying that you might fail, but you might need to want to do it again. You might say, oh, I didn't get a 70 and I need to do this chat again. I'm gonna put this up here, AAPC. I'm not sure why that thing flashed up there like that. I'm gonna put aapc.com. I'm just gonna use a different device. I hit that one and I don't know why on my I forgot what you call those things. aapc.com. Okay, so I put it up there through that. Um, all of my little thumbnails came up. They're thumbnails, no serious. Um, nah, don't worry about that. We're gonna edit that once we finish with this. The CPC, you get several chances. You get 2 chances to take that CPC. Okay, if you fail it, you take it again. And I need to have that up there. I don't know why it disappeared. I don't know what happened to my chat. It disappeared from the side. But I need to make sure that if you do, what did somebody heard me say that or something? Did you get this? I have no idea. Uh, if you need to have, let me see something here. If you need to have exercises, I have an exam that's 150 questions. Um, and it's steadfast on 150 questions because everything is in there. I have big cases in there, small cases in there. Um, the YouTube, I have almost 550 YouTube channel chats on here. And in those chats, it's pretty much self-learning as far as the coding, especially if you guys are home. If you guys are home and you're looking for something else to do or something else to read, go get the ICD-10 book. Okay? I'm going to put it right here. Go get the ICD-10 book. The coding book that you need to use is ICD-10 CM. Okay? Prefer AAPC. Okay? And let me tell you why I prefer the AAPC. I prefer the AAPC because the CPC is derived from the way they incorporated their book. There are illustrations in their book. Everything, the same thing as AMA, same thing as Buck. You guys know I use Buck. I'll show y'all in a little bit. But because it is an exam from AAPC and the wording, however they've worded it in the AAPC book, it's how the test is going to be. So we want to make sure everybody who takes this class become a certified coder. So you guys see where those of you who might be into medical billing in college, that's fine. But what we look for as revenue cycle directors is people who have taken the CPC. So if you've gone to college for medical billing and coding or coding, I know some people who just went for coding. I still need the certification. I have people who have went to college, like I said, and finished. Like I met somebody who finished. Boom, she was done. She worked at a hospital, and she needed to take the course. She needed to do things as far as getting her exercises, and she finished. Oh, I did everything. Oh, I did coding. I did coding. I was like, no, I don't need it. I can take my test now. I said, well, here, why don't you take this HIM test? That way I'll give you practice on it. And I don't even think it was even one that, it was discouraging to her to look at the test because she couldn't do it. And I felt bad enough because she just finished paying $25,000 for a course that taught you how to code, and you can't knock this test out. So that's, to me, why I don't think you guys should have to pay for coding. And I don't think it makes sense to go to school for billing and coding and get a student loan when we can't hire you anyway. Just because you went to school for that, we can hire you as a biller. I can hire you as a biller because you got that 4 or 5 months under your belt as billing. But the coding is a no-no. Okay, so that's why I want you guys to, you guys go ahead and take the classes. Let me put the CPT book. So this is the other book that you're going to need. I don't know why this thing is in caps. You guys know I hate caps. You type something in caps and you're upset. Don't send anybody any emails in caps, okay? No. When I do it, I know I'm upset. I'll try not to do it. Don't show any emotion at work. Sometimes it's inevitable. You just want to but don't do it. So those 3 books that I put on the side are books that you're going to need for beginner coders. Beginner coders. Okay, some of you that do archive some of my chats are old schoolers. Okay, y'all know, y'all just need to get abreast on a couple of things, a couple of changes. And remember, when you get ready to take your CPC, this is my beginners. Make sure you know all about AAPC, when it started, how many people are in that group. It's over 250,000 people part of AAPC. When we do our advanced courses, we use the CPC guide. I go through the CPC guide step by step. Why, Miss Lambert? Because that is your exam. What's in that book, that is your exam. So, those of you who are taking the free classes, when you get to advanced, we do CPC. Now in AAPC, they don't say, oh well, you have to use my book. I say use your book. A lot of my students have done very well using the AAPC book. I use book when I'm teaching y'all. My book is a little bit different because I like the ebooks, but I also have the AMA one in the ebook. But for you guys who are just starting the medical billing, and maybe you don't know about the medical billing, maybe, well, what's medical billing? What's she talking about? Go get that book below this link. Those of you who are on Twitch, go to my website and you see that book up there. If you guys are on YouTube, you guys have the courtesy of that book. Go on YouTube. Well, Twitch, you guys can go on my YouTube view. Go to the YouTube, and I have given you guys that book. So that book is a courtesy to you from YouTube. So that's what I've given to YouTube. It's Medical Billing and Coding Q&A. And it tells you all about medical billing and coding. In case you are new to medical billing and coding. In case this is something, well, I don't know, maybe I can do it, maybe so and so. Maybe you've come from corporate and you want to come down and you just want to relax for a minute and just work in the office. Because when you working upstairs and you in leadership upstairs, you do a whole lot of stuff. And you got to keep it with everything. You talking about reports, KPIs, everything. We did the KPIs the other day, so you guys can look at that if you want to. But again, if coding is something for you and you don't know about it, you know nothing about it, or it's not familiar to you, like I said, I would go to YTU. YTU, my classes are YTU YouTube University coding because it's such a broad range of people on YTU. And if you look at a lot of my thumbnails, it's going to help you with coordinating your own classes, okay? Because online it's self-paced. And the word we hear all the time when we hear people teach, oh, they're not gonna pay attention. Oh, you got to. First of all, they're grown folks. We not holding nobody's hand, but I think that is appropriate for instructors to follow up with their students, to at least put notes. You guys in the posts in YTU YouTube, always put posts in there. You have to still see what your students are doing. It's not like you're just doing a video and we're not connecting with the students. Now, there are some online schools where they put the work in the front. They put the same thing with Sapphire Academy. I do it the same way. I put the work out there for you guys to do. You do your work. You put it in your folder. I get it. You grade it, and you look at your tests. And we do one-on-one Zoom. We do them as many times as you want to. When you guys join the Sapphire Academy, I give you an email because you need a Sapphire coding email in order for you to get into the Sapphire Academy. The Sapphire Academy now was $1,389. It's only $99 because I just feel like I wanted to make a program affordable for people. If it's like the schools and the colleges, okay, they have to pay $1,389. But you guys who are on social media, I really don't think it's necessary to incorporate that much. If you are home, if you are social service, we take whatever you have to get you started. But these classes that are online are free. What do you have to do, Miss Lambert? Nothing. Subscribe to my channel and give me a thumbs up. The more people I get there, the more I can give you. Certain stuff I have to only put in the Sapphire Academy. But the more we put here, the more we can give you. So, and especially the new coders. Some of you have been in my class for a minute, but when you start the coding, again, just get the books first. Start the medical terminology. If you feel like you want to join the Sapphire Academy, that's up to you. Join the Sapphire Academy. I always try to make some type of adjustment for people to get into the academy. If I get, hi, how are you? If I get some of the, if I get some emails where they say, oh, I need to make a payment plan, then they can make a payment plan. Okay. Now, if you do YouTube, you see Sapphire EDLS, CDG, which is the coding classes. So these are the classes. If you go in, this is how you see them: Sapphire, CLS, MIB. Okay, four or two. Okay, that's your medical billing class. Okay. And the classes are all numbered. So if I say Sapphire, CLS, CDG, 11, that's the coding class. That's the coding class. Sapphire, ED, CLS, MT is medical terminology. And that's the medical terminology class. Okay. And this just kind of gives you a heads up of what the classes are when you go in there. So I have 3 playlists. I don't know if the site comes up, like the chat comes up after we're over. So I have the MT, the MIB, and the coding. So you guys have 3 playlists, and this is all free. The classes are all free. You have 3 playlists that you're gonna do. If you're already working, that's fine. If you're already working and you just need like a brush up, or you just want to see, what we're doing in the coding, take a look at it. Open them up, take a look at, skim through some of them. As you guys can see, when I started doing the YouTube a few years ago, I mean, we've kind of gotten better every year. So, some of my videos are, choppy. Because I don't know what happened a few minutes ago. I got to cut that video. But I think that, if you can find something on YouTube and you can learn to do it and use it to the best of your knowledge and make money from it, you can. Because we will hire you. Medical billing and coding is one of the fastest growing trades you can find. And it's incorporates all the way up to revenue cycle management. So do not sleep on the things that we're giving you. And like I said, coding again is like worldwide. When you go to different countries, they still have ICD-10. You might see ICD-10 AU or something like that. ICD-10, Australia. When you get your ICD-10 book, okay. When you get your ICD-10 CM book, what you're going to do, because this is where it's going to tell you about Australia and all these different places. It's going to tell you about who developed ICD-10. As a matter of fact, let me see if we can get in there. Which one is it? It should be in here. I should have it in here. Capture 1 or Capture 2. I'm not sure why that's in there. There's a lot of stuff on here. I'm not sure what's in there. So that one may not be in here. I don't know. So I got the media source. All right. So the chat before this one would have it in there. This one, I'm not sure what's going on with this chat. It's just out of whack. Like everything I have down there is like, I have no idea what all that stuff is down there. I must have been testing stuff and putting stuff down there. But if you guys, yes, check out one of the other ones, you can definitely find it there, because the ICD-10 book, those 3 books that I gave you on the side right there are what you're going to start with. So even if you need to send me a message, you can send, I'm going to put my email right here. You guys can send me a message through my email. That's your email. Okay. So that's actually the school's email. So they'll still send it to me. They'll go to administration, but they'll send it to me. You get a response back from me. If you have a question about coding, uh, Miss Lambert, what's hospital coding? Miss Lambert, what's physician coding? Which one is easier, Miss Lambert? Should I go to college, Miss Lambert, for health information management? Miss Lambert, do I need to go to college for coding? You can ask anything you want. You can ask anything you want right here while we're on live chat. Um, so Twitch would be new. I think we did Twitch the other day. So Twitch is new. We're kind of breaking into Twitch. But Twitch, same thing. You guys can also ask me a message. The Sapphire Academy, actually, we do our one-on-ones actually in the Sapphire Academy. So even if you wanted to join the Sapphire Academy, we still do one-on-ones with you. If you are a YTU student and you have a question, you can send me an email. If I get too many, I'm just gonna say DB me. And the DB for us is discussion board. This, like I said, discussion board is everything. And what do they call, like DM? What we're doing now is like DM. Okay, so you can DM me on YouTube. I'm still learning Twitch. So those of you who may be watching on Twitch, I'm still kind of learning on the Twitch thing. So once we get that down pat, we'll be pretty good with the Twitch. But again, when you are learning how to do the coding, you need to have the material. And I'm not going to sugarcoat it. The books cost change. The books cost change. Now, when you have a student loan, you're still not getting books for free. Your books are billed into that student loan. If the book is $300, you don't know, because they're not breaking that down into your student loan. It's incorporated into that big chunk of money that we get. We have to keep you in the classroom for at least 6 weeks or more in order for us to keep that money. If you're not in a classroom for a certain amount of time, the school has to return some of that money. So, it's the goal of the school to keep you in the seat, even if the teacher knows. See, that wasn't me, so that's the problem I had in school. When I knew a student really wasn't interested in coding, they just wanted to get a stipend, I would withdraw them in a second. Listen, you sure you want to withdraw? Are you sure you want, to go to school? I don't want you to have an outstanding student loan balance. It's going to affect you when you're trying to buy a house. You don't want your DTIs through the roof, debt to ratio through the roof, and you got $100,000 worth of student loan. Guess what? You ain't going to be able to get that house. They're going to want you to pay more money. And you still have a student loan. Yeah, you have to incorporate your student loan and your DTI when you get ready to buy a house. And I'm not saying don't go to school, don't get student loans. Lord knows, you have to go to school, and you have to get a student loan, you get it. Just pay it off little by little. But not for billing and coding. For billing and coding, you can go to YouTube and learn how to do billing and coding. Even if it's not for me, you can go somewhere. Here, my class, we teach from the beginning. This is beginning coding. We did like a survey a couple of months ago to see if you guys wanted a free class. These classes that are on here, like I said, these chats are free. The Sapphire Academy, you do have to pay to get into the Sapphire Academy. One of the, let me put the Kindle up here. One of the things that the Sapphire Academy does is absolutely help you along the way. We help you along the way. You have assignments that you have to do in the Sapphire Academy. So when you do the Sapphire Academy, I'm looking for assignments. I can DB you through the Sapphire Academy. It's Sapphire Academy Teams portal. Especially if I'm trying to follow up with you to see exactly where you're at. Sometimes when we're trying to keep up with the student, sometimes I can't. I got one in Canada. Tanisha, where are you? Make sure you DB me. Some I just can't find. I don't know if it's technical difficulties of my students that are in different countries, or but most of you guys from the U.S. I can get right away. But some of my students that are in different countries, I'm having a little trouble getting. So I'm hoping you guys are all doing okay. And again, y'all always hear me say, let's change world education. Why, Miss Lambert? because I want people from Canada, I want people from Jamaica, I want people from Australia, I want people from India, I want everybody to get on my YouTube and take this course. And I always tell my students, go to a school, uh, go to a billing school, let's see what they got. Let me see what they got. Um, are they giving you more than I'm giving you? I'm not giving you nothing useless. Now, I ain't giving you sanctianity and all that kind of crazy stuff because it's not necessary. I need you to pass a CPC, Certified Professional Coder. Some of you who don't know what that is, I'm going to put it right here. Certified Professional. And you know what? When I first started, I'm sorry, y'all, I got the caps on. I hate the caps, but I already started typing. Okay, I'm gonna take the caps off. I feel like I'm yelling. When I first started, even randomizing um, coding on YouTube, I saw a lot of the other YouTubers who were doing coding, and I thought it was kind of cool. My grandson said, "Mom, why don't you do coding?" And I said, um, "I don't know how to do the YouTube." So he fixed this thing up and showed me how to do YouTube, and I thought, wow, we could do this. So that's why I was so happy to bring this to you. Okay, and again, the coding is something that you can take with you. Okay, you can take the coding with you. Okay, do not sleep on the coding. Okay, because if you do, you're going to miss out a lot. You're going to miss out a lot, especially if you have been laid off and you want to start something. You want to start something new. Let me see what's going on in here. I'm just pulling up the book. Pretty sure you can see me. And this is one of the books where you're going to start at. And you guys know I gave you the other book, but you can start on this one. I'm not sure why that came up over there like that. So let me put this back. All right. So the ICD-10 book that I have is actually the Bucks book. I'm just trying to figure out how to get it up here. I've got the 1014. So that must be the 1014, and then we got the Max Capture 1 and Max Capture 2. We got Media Source 1 and Media Source 2. Which one was that, y'all? This one? 2 off Media Source 3. Bigger camera, Mac. So we only have one Mac in here. I'm not sure why I only have one Mac in here. So don't worry about that part. We're just gonna leave that there because I think that's what it is, where it's coming up from. But it's still the ICD-10 book and the AAPC. I may have to do another one and kind of switch it over to that one. So if we have, let me see if I can switch it over. I don't know if you guys can see, what I'm doing. It's a max screen. Let me see. Max screen. So, at any rate, when you guys class after this one, that class starts at 10:15. I'm going to put it up there, but I'm also going to put this website here, www.ama.com. That's the other website where you will get your other book from. Okay, because you can also use your AMA books as well. To kind of get you started. You can use those books to kind of get you started. The other one is Hicks Picks, and you will also get that from AMA if you choose to. But like I said, the AAPC books are the ones that I want you to use. You guys can pull that up now. You can actually go on www.aapc.com. You guys go ahead and pull that up. Pull that up on your phone, and like I said, some of you are new. This is where you will be taking your exam, and AAPC.com also has on there what's going to be on their test. What you see here, they also have a program in there too. I don't know if it's about $4,000. It's a coding program, kind of like this one, but mine's is just we don't charge that kind of money. That's a big organization, that's what they do. So again, they prepare you to take their test, but we prepare you the same way for either a free class or for $99. If you go on my website, you'll see that my full 21-point course is $99, and you also get a free language of medicine book with that. The language of medicine book is your medical terminology book that we use. So that is the book that you're going to use with that. Okay. I'm still gonna mess around with this. I'm not sure what screen chapter 1 is on, but I think I probably can find it. I know I'm just not savvy with this stuff. So what we have? We have max capture 1, 2. So we got 1, and then we got the max. All right. So add existing. Existing. I don't know what that is. That's one. Oh, wasn't nothing in there. That's why. Okay, so let's try it again. We're gonna try it again because I'm trying to show y'all this book, and for some strange reason, I can't seem to get the book up there. We always get this book up here, don't we? In YouTube, we always get this book up here. I'm not sure it's just because we're on the what do you call it? The Twitchy. It's not allowing us to do it, so we can get it up there. If I can get it up there, I will show you guys exactly what it is. But I think because I changed systems on it, it's not letting us do it. Oh, wait a minute. I think we got it, yo. Hold on. So this is the book that I was trying to tell you about, but why is it so big? Well, at least this will give you an idea. Some of you that, like I said, are new to the coding. I'm just going to shrink it down. Some of you who are new to the coding, this is the book that we actually use. Okay. Now, the book that I'm showing you right here it's actually a buck. It's Buck. And Buck is just the name of. Let me see if I can make it a little bigger. Buck is just the name of the book. And I'm gonna make this a little bigger for me to see. This is one of the coding books that we actually use. And as you can see, all of what's in this book and what they actually use, and it's giving you chapters. These are actually chapters that you see. Some of you who are home looking at this, I'm gonna try to make this a little bit. I'll make it a little bit bigger, just to kind of give you an idea of what type of books that you guys are going to be looking for. So in this book, pretty much the cover page on this book is a Buck's ICD-10. But as you can see, I mean, this is your go-to. I'm going to show you another book, but this one is your go-to. Those of you who are going to be, because this is self-learning that we're doing. Right here, these are illustrations right here. And on your test, you might have some type of, illustration in there, and this is a good one that I just kind of popped up, only because I just want to make sure that you could see it. On your CPC exam, it just kind of wants you to know about different body parts, and we're talking about dorsal, palmar view, and different types of areas of illustrations. So when you guys hear me say illustrations, I am referring to systems of the body. And here's another one, system of the body. These are called illustrations. Okay, and like I said, any ICD-10 book, you will have illustrations in there. This again is the index to diseases. So anybody who is training for coding, you have to have an ICD-10 book. I always start off with diseases and injury. Okay, and in here you will also have something called the tabular list, because once you actually find your code, you have to go to the tabular list and check it. Okay, so I'm gonna pop in on the tabular list, and we're gonna go to chapter endocrine system. So you see how this is here is chapter 4, endocrine system, and it's telling you about a certain body system. It's also telling you about a certain disease. So as we talk about diabetes mellitus, diabetes type 1, diabetes type 2, as you can see how your ICD-10 book is, right? You can see how your ICD-10 book is. In ICD-10, or a language of medicine, this is your go-to. You will combine your language of medicine with your ICD-10. Your language of medicine book, I'm going to show you language of medicine book in a minute. Your language of medicine book is complicit with this book, because it is in the same type of order and you're learning the same thing. Okay, so if you are in diabetes mellitus, they talk about that in the language of medicine book. Um, that's the reason why I always tell you guys to try and get, at least when you get your ICD-10 book, go ahead and get your language of medicine book. Now, the language of medicine book in the Sapphire Academy is free. That's $100 and something book, but that book is free when you join Sapphire Academy. Okay. Also, I have that in my bookstore as well. So in my bookstore, you guys will also see that book, The Language of Medicine, in there. I think it's $25 in the bookstore, and it's an ebook, so you can load that really quickly. So if you decide to, let me see if I can say, if you, there it is. If you decide that you want to, what is this? All right, so this is your language of medicine book. I'm gonna pull that up. If you decide that you want to do, the coding, that's your go-to. That's your language of medicine book. Now, you do not have to get the new book. I have the 2025 book. You don't need your new book. You can get the older version. We have an older version that's in there, and in Sapphire Academy, and also in the bookstore, that you don't need to pay $100 and something for, and it does just as good. Okay, so you don't need something that's going to cost you a whole lot of money. The gist of this class is so that you do not have to spend a lot of money. Now, there's a book site also where you can get books from thrift.com, and they have books that are cheap there. You can go on my website. I have all the books in there. I'm going to show you my website in a little bit, sapphirecoding.com. When you go on my website, just click on other resources or the bookstore or one of those tabs, and it'll take you straight to my bookstore. In my bookstore, I have the index cards in there to help you retain what you're learning in the coding. Because when you start actually doing the coding, it's going to become second nature to you. You're going to get used to doing the coding. You have to do it repetitiously. Once you continue doing the coding over and over, you're going to be like, okay, I'm used to this now. If you have to do a case, you'll be finding your code a lot faster. So the provider, some of you who are not familiar with the cases and the reports, the provider will provide the report to you. It will be in Athena, Epic, Mises Tiger, eClinicalWorks, whatever system that you're using, you'll be able to pull the report from there. And in that report, you need to decipher that. So you're going to take alpha, and you're going to turn that into numeric codes. So that's what we refer to as coding. One of your next chats, I'm going to explicitly say that alpha into numeric codes, because some people hear you say coding, they're not sure what type of coding. So in the coding that we do, we take words and we turn them into numbers. And in order for you to do that, using the medical terminology book, It's going to help you decipher the language of the provider. So you must be clear on the language of the provider. In order for you to do that, you need that book right there. Okay, I don't know which way it is. You need that book right there. Okay? And again, that book is in sapphirephysiciancoding.com. You can get it for $25. Or if you join or register Sapphire Academy, the book is free. You guys automatically get it. I'm going to also show you another book. Those of you, again, this is for the beginners. Okay, this is for the beginners because some of you in my class already work in the hospital. Most of you in my class already work at a physician office. And this is for you too. You know, you need to brush up. This is for you too. But this again is, kind of let you guys know what I'm about to bring to Twitch and the rest of the platforms. Because you all, I know some of you go straight to my class, but then I have some of you that don't want to do YouTube. That's fine. You guys don't have to. Can stream this across the board. I'm still trying to figure out how to do it. I'm not going to pay anybody to show me how to do anything. I'm going to figure it out myself. Did y'all hear what I said? I'm going to figure it out myself. I'm not going to pay somebody to show me how to do anything. Now, my sister, she's straight making six figures, and she pays everybody to do. I don't care if it's YouTube, her streaming, her selling her clothes, or everybody gets paid. Los Angeles, this and that, and that. I don't do that. Every single thing you see me do on here, I'll figure it out, or my son will figure it out for me. Any type of graphics or anything like that, my son would do it. I don't spend money on, nonsense. When we do the dollar contribution, we do the dollar contribution so that we can help people pay for books. So that's why we do. You see that little AI robot? That's what that's for. Because if I have a student who can't afford her books, we do that dollar susu that you guys see there with that little AI robot. I can pull that up, and we do like the dollar thing in case somebody can't afford books. Or let's say I have a student or one of y'all that's on YouTube and she can't afford the $99. We'll take that from the susu that we did and we pay for her class for her. When I normally can break my classes down like that, I've gotten a grant. So you guys know I had the last grant I had was for $1,150. So you guys had got the program for $59. I got the grant, but it was a little less than that one. So that's why I got to do it for $99 now. So yeah, we got the grant. We got the grant, but it wasn't as much as the one we had during the summer. We had a big one during the summer, but the one that we got now, we can get 60 students in the classroom. So we just kind of stretch it across. We can get 60 students in the classroom for us doing that. Okay. And then when we don't, like we didn't get enough in the other classroom, but they still gave it the full thing. When we don't get the class full, then I have to return it, and then they give it back to us. Okay, at the next session. Okay, so this is the step-by-step book. Okay, this is how you learn to code. In our classes, in the coding class, this is what I use. I use this book, and I use the ICD-10. Okay, so this is your go-to. Okay, this book also has a workbook. All right, so just make sure you also get the workbook with this. Okay, is that the workbook? No. Okay, I'm gonna pull up the workbook. And my books are all ebooks. And as I'm teaching online, they're so much better for me. But you guys know I use the hard copy too, so I can show y'all how to tab your book and all this, all this stuff that we need to do with the book. But today, I just wanted to kind of do what is coding, because getting a lot of emails, which I always get emails from y'all, about talk about what the coding is. So that's the reason why we're just kind of talking about what the coding is a little more. And again, the step-by-step book works with that's the workbook. The workbook works with the ICD-10 book. Okay, so for you guys, this is the workbook. So for you guys that are on YTU and Twitch, well, I'm talking to YTU and Twitch, not Sapphire Academy. So y'all steadfast. I got a bunch of screens up here. They're over here. This is not for y'all. I'm talking to YTU. Okay. So YTU and Twitch, you will get this workbook, and then you will get the reading book, and then your ICD-10. The Sapphire Academy, they have tests already to do. They have to give me an essay. They have to do their summaries. And it goes into a file in Sapphire Academy, which, Valerie, I'm going in there today to see what's in here. And I just want to see, where they're at and what they're doing. You guys who are on the social media that are not actually in the class yet, you will have exercises in this book. This is the workbook. You will have exercises in here that are amazing and that we're already in the coding class. So if you want to catch up with the coding class, because I've already started that class, we're already in our 12th session. You're going to have to catch up, because I've already done the guidelines. I've already done where does ICD-10 come from? Why do we do codings? How do they keep up a statistic of coding? Okay, so we've already done that. You'll have to backtrack in the classroom. You'll have to backtrack in the classroom. We're on chapter 3, but yeah, you're going to have to backtrack. Chapter 3 is pretty long, so today I'm still doing C. This class is over in about 3 minutes, but it's really like just chatting. We're just chatting. It's not really a boom class. It's just chatting. That class is set to start at 10:15, but I'm gonna start it at 10:30. So you guys don't go nowhere. You guys can go ahead and jump in. We can stay on. I'm gonna come right back on, and we're gonna do that class. And then you guys can see me opening these books. You guys can see how we go through these books. You guys can see how I go through the class. Some of the other chats that are earlier, like a few months ago, maybe a couple of weeks ago, the syllabus is there. So you have to have a syllabus. We have a crosswalk. I have this class is accreditation ready. Everything that I need for accreditation, everything was already there. So I have to have a syllabus for my Sapphire Academy students. I have to have a monologue for my Sapphire Academy. I have to have how many hours is medical insurance billing. I have to have how many hours is medical terminology. How many hours is coding. How long will it take the student to finish this class? So you guys will see all of that in some of the other chats that are in there. The syllabus is already in there. Now we're kind of moving along, but again, you guys can check out some of those videos. More or less on the StreamYard, I can produce more of that. The OBS is a little bit different. I got to work it a little bit more different than the other one. But again, yeah, you guys can always email me if you want to see some of those things. So I got like a minute left on this one, but I'm coming back in about 15 minutes with our coding class. Let me see, what's coding class are we doing, y'all? We are doing, I think it's 12. So the next coding class is actually 12. And again, we're gonna use the StreamYard to do it. And we're doing status codes and Z codes. So we're doing status codes and Z codes. Let me see. All right, let me find it. Let me see if it's still up here. Let me see if that thumbnail is up here, y'all. Yeah, so this is nothing but the thumbnail. I don't know why it's taking so long, but let me see if I can put it up there. So we're doing status codes and we're doing Z code. That's the class that's getting ready to come up next, y'all. That ain't nothing but Canvas. Y'all want to learn how to do Canvas? I put a link down there because some of y'all did ask me about Canvas. That's how I make my thumbnails. That's the class that's coming up next. All right. So this class will also be on YouTube. Let's see how well you guys took it on Twitch. We'll go ahead and put it back on Twitch. I'm supposed to do it on TikTok because I don't know how to do the three. I'm supposed to be able to do 5 streams, but I don't know how to do it. I got to figure it out. I don't want to take the Twitch off, but I know TikTok. I know I told y'all I was gonna put y'all in on this stream, but I don't know how to do it yet. So y'all got to give me a break. Okay, so it's already 10:15, and we're going to conclude this class. You guys come back in a few minutes. I don't know how the Twitch does, if this thing on the side goes away, but we're going to be back in about 15 minutes. Let me see. Um, yeah. So we'll be back in about 15 minutes. So I will see you guys then, and I'm going to end this stream. So please, those of you who want to start the coding, and you know you're going to be straight beginners doing this,